Da da. Alright. According to OBS, everything seems to be working. Let's hope it stays that way. But Hazelock tracks Hetter and Chris. But Slug, it wasn't really a surprise. I mean, in the last stream, I did say that I was probably going to be live again on Tuesday because I wasn't able to finish the reindeer habitat. And this, well, Valhalla is basically just a, well, stream zoo. So I only really build in it when I'm streaming. But I did build a little bit on the waterfall. I went off early, missed it. Alright. But yeah, we're basically just finishing off this habitat and then this area maybe. Or we will just build a large ass bridge that's supposed to connect this to each other. That's going to be fun though, because you kinda can see how big the gap is that it needs to cross. Also, because I don't, well, I actually have one animal in there. For me, it was a welcome surprise. Yep. But then, just to say it early, there will probably be also a stream on Thursday. Depending on my mood, of course. But where's the water reindeer? And yes, his name is now officially water reindeer because he just hangs out at that pond constantly. Don't know where he is now, but he's supposed to be there. Also, forgot to remove one of these blocks. Nobody saw that. How many blocks did I place there? Good, that's better. So last stream we made literally just a bridge over this and this forest. So hopefully going to be fun, probably just finishing off this forest. And I need to find a bedding area. Also, this is something I completely forgot to build actually in the last episode, but I wanted to have a watchtower here. So let's start with building that actually before I forget again. Do we have a flat area? I mean, we have this area, so we will just build it there. But yeah, how have you guys been doing? Because over here it's a little bit comes and goes. What kind of beams do I want to use? That one. And then just angle it a little bit. Oh, there's the water reindeer, hanging out at his favorite spot near that pond again. Also, I found out that these beams are too broad actually for the rope or the rope thingies that we got in the South America pack. So yeah, let's just pretend that's all nailed down. So actually, do I know for sure that that is? I know what to do. That doesn't help. That's, I think, a hanging bridge. Let's just say I think that that's in. Well, I just imagine that there might be storms here. That would be a death trap, I think. And there's like, I mean, most of the map is going to be covered with forest, so there's no shortage of wood. And it's Valhalla, so it's a kind of fantasy. So I can build something insane. And it's a bridge, so I want to make it insane, because how many times do I actually build a bridge? So let's just start by having one beam that crosses, then another one, of course, that crosses on a lower part, probably a little bit higher than that. So so and then just having this go a little bit like that. And then this one can go a little bit like that. Then we'll move everything or half. And so the rainbow like bridge to Asgard. I don't think I'm able to build that, because we don't have invisible pathing. I wish we had, but sadly we don't. So that won't work, that's too short. Now luckily, position snap is the best thing in the game ever. That could perhaps work, but I think I'm already going to be a bit more fantasy like with the actual buildings in the, well, it's a town, it's not large enough to become a city. This just looks too broad. I don't know. Maybe make it just a little bit taller. I mean, it also has to include a roof, so yes. Taller it is. Was more fancy than a rainbow. Unicorns? Oh. Yeah, unicorns. Can't get more fancy like than unicorns. So. So that would be like sunk into here. There's a unicorn mod for the zebra. Why? I just feel like the modders are releasing more animals than Frontier has, which, I mean, isn't a high or a bar to reach, but I think this somewhat works. Then to put some, where is it, where is it, where is it, where is it, there it is. Do you guys ever have it that you want to use one piece and you know where it is, but for some reason you just can't find it for the life of you? Like, I know exactly that this piece is supposed to be way up there. Also, hey Kane, how are you doing? How is She-Dog doing? But yeah, sometimes I literally, like, I know that this piece is on top of the list, but I sometimes can just not find it, even though I know exactly where it is. I need to delete this for a second so that I can make some railing out of this. So I think that's interconnecting too much. What are you doing with that fence? Go back. So. And now I just need some. It's the own tag option. Let's just say I have never, like, I heart things or like things, but then I will always forget where they are. And I wouldn't use these beams for a simple hunting lodge, watch post, or watchtower. Where are these beams again? So. So. And then like that. Perhaps this as well. This is not going to be the roof, it's just a little bit of a... Well, the roof is going to be on top of here. You are very loud. So... Then making it go sharper again. Then hopefully, yes, didn't remove the mud pillars. It's somehow very... Whoa, somehow I lined it up perfectly. Hello, was today after a few months in the zoo again as guest. Zoos are open? Oh wait, yeah, zoos are open. Just that's like limited amount of guests that may attend, if I'm correct. So, save this. Then this. Maybe make this actually longer because snow. So that it like slides down. So, yeah, so that the snow doesn't collect on the roof. I think that's also the reason why Viking or Nordic roofs are a little bit, well, I always said ship-like. Like, this just reminds me of the bow of a ship. Then getting a mud pillar again. And it was fine not yelling at children. Yes. That's just yes, yes, yes. Children in zoos are sometimes the most annoying thing. Because they can't keep quiet. Especially if you are in like a, I would say, isolated area. Let's say if you're in an aquarium and they just won't stop yelling. That works. I would say that that works as like it's not something that's meant to be really defensible, but it works as something to like spot deer from. Parents of children are so much more annoying. I mean, if they don't, well, if they don't keep their children silent, that's... Then yes. But anyway, I also have to announce no Creation Renovation this week. Not because I don't want to do it, but I have something else planned. I mean, Kane might like it. And so now it's less likely to, well, fall over. Because crosses are really helpful when it comes to something new, new zoo, new game. Not new game, but basically to, well, I said it in the, well, community poll that I put up. But I just want to talk about some issues that I've been having with Planet Zoo, or at least the way that Frontier are taking things. So that's why I say Kane might like it. Because it's also mostly about like a lack of certain things. But I am actually, to be completely honest, actually looking for like new games. So I just saw like the somewhat review of like the character creation in Paralyzed, and I'm really interested in that game. Think that this works. I don't want to go excessive with all these structural supports. Yeah, I was going to comment on the post, but you went live. I was just at the right moment. I also went live at exactly 8 p.m. Kane, so you can be happy now. But also, hey, Comet. Hope you are having a good evening as well. And just for everyone, also, hey, Rang. I'm going to butcher your name, but I do that with almost every name, so I'm already sorry for that. But Rajan Roop. Now it's just, where do I place this? I mean, it's supposed to be for the Hunter's Lodge, but I don't think it looks well here. It needs to have some kind of elevation. So maybe here on top of it. I'm just going to look how it looks. No, that doesn't look right. But for everyone who has just started watching, I am basically just finishing off my reindeer habitat. Which again, Pina isn't going to like because it's a hunter's lodge. But I mean, if you like fresh reindeer, I think it looks best here. That way you have a nice view of the forest. You don't have to do too much about it when excuse me. Also, yes, I just had dinner. Again, a salad. Now I can make some rocks that they have like anchored it into. I want it to be close to the hunter's lodge, because then they can sort of keep it up a little bit better. But the weird thing is, after, well, speaking about Minecraft a little bit in the last stream, or that I was like watching a lot of Minecraft, I've been actually really interested in trying it again myself. Don't know if I will ever really make a Minecraft video, but I'm just interested in the game again. So now I probably need to make some kind of way to get up into the tower. Let's just quick little stair or ladder. So that's, oh wait, this isn't, 6. It would be amazing if like you build a ladder and the people or your staff can actually use them. It's not never going to be a thing probably, but a squirrel can dream. So I forgot to hit record again, but then this is a small thing. And I would probably cut out making this a ladder anyway. It's not completely lined up again. I mean, I can work with it. A rock squirrel? Are there rock squirrels? Oh, I'm so busy with rocks that I typed the wrong thing. So now it looks like they tied the ladder to the actual building. Probably need to... Rots acorn. Didn't know they existed. I do know that there's one rainbow squirrel though. Yes, I of course know that there's a rainbow squirrel. So, removing that one. Thank you, the Hobbits 942. it that's the I should move the YouTube chat because I can't actually see what's happening in the stream. But so now the hunter can get into his lodge. Also, I think I found one piece that I want to use to try and make a bow. Where is it? That's not it. That's not it. I mean, if I want a huge bow. I really thought I did find a piece to use for that. But I don't. Or I can't find it anymore. I literally had it. Was it? It's not in here. Not in here. That's not right. Alright, I've lost the piece. If I will ever find it again, I mean... Squirrel has an idea. Is this going to be a 3-meter long bow? Yes. Rope. Wherever the rope is in this game. There it is. That isn't the same. It's 2 out, so going from there not rotate it that way. It's 1, 2. So the rope's actually a little bit too short. That doesn't look right. That looks right. We have a primitive bow. Because it's a hunter's lodge. You need a bow. Now it wants to connect it to every piece I've built previously. So now just connect these pieces into one. And would they just have it hanging there? They would have it just hanging in here. So so then maybe add one of these, or actually so now you have a bow hanging from there. So and now to place the shop back in here. Probably chief beef is the best. Why? Man, finally you stream on weekdays and I almost missed it. Well, yeah. I need to move this a little bit, it seems. So. But now it's in the air here again. Let's just move this one. Also, Blizzard, I just made a bow. Because I want a bow. And the hunter needs a bow, so that's why we are having it. We actually have 3 bows. But now the rest of the building doesn't fit anymore, but that fits. So I'm going to look if it... we'll just have to do this then. Does the rest of the building also float? Nope. It's just that small little area there. It's a big ass bow to kill big ass deer with. I mean, it's as large as... Yeah, it's as large as the actual peeps, but I can't make it smaller. I mean, it's basically a long bow. And yes, longbows could get pretty large. I mean, hence the name, longbow. Now to make some cliff sides. What do you plan to shoot with those? Him. Maybe if I place some elephants in here it makes more sense. Again, PETA is not going to like Valhalla. But then what does PETA like? So it's a little bit like I have to think a little bit different when it comes to rock work than I do in Can Albashar. It needs to be like smoothed out a little bit here. Blizzard is in shock. I mean, I always said that Pira's not going to like this zoo. Because I tried to make it realistic. You can't give him a name and then kill him. You can kill animals without name. Well, he's called Water Reindeer. I don't know where he is now, but he's called Water Reindeer. He is somewhere. It's Water Reindeer is not a name, it's a title, basically. So Chris Paradoxon for Water Reindeer safety. Is there royalty in Valhalla? You are going to die. You like the name Water Reindeer or Chris Paradoxon for Water Reindeer safety? Also, probably really cruel to actually walk up to an animal and just say, "You're going to die." Valar Morghulis. That just gives more reasons to kill the Water Reindeer. I still haven't watched the last season of Game of Thrones, and I don't think I will ever. I intend to not have my favorite show ruined by its final season. That doesn't make any sense. Hey, Mama. How are you doing? And also, just a quick heads up. We're just finishing the reindeer habitat by building some cliffs. And he can't stop yawning. Don't do this, it ruined everything. Yeah, there were so many things that they had set up in season 7, and then they just ignored completely. Like, I know how it ends, and I'm just like, I refuse to see it. Also, hey Goron, if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm talking about that I haven't seen the final season of Game of Thrones. Which I think is a good thing. Because from what I have seen, most of the things are ruined. So let's make it a little bit cliffy here as well. Still not recording because I think I had so much footage in the last video already, or in the last stream. And also, yes, this is a very easy way to make a cliff. Just borrow rocks from everywhere, delete some rocks as you go, replace them, just create a mishmash of rocks. But chase them just enough so that you don't notice that it's all the same. Most of the time when it comes to Rockworth Blizzard, sometimes you have to think about it as a tree. Same goes for like mountains. Unless there's like, you know, natural, what is it, erosion, you won't find rocks that aren't sloping. So this does slope a little bit. Not too much, but just enough. Need to have a little bit more rocks here, I think. There's some rocks that have fallen, of course. But it also depends on like what you are building. I select this whole thing now because I'm lazy. Yes, sloping is just that. Well, you always have to consider gravity. If a rock looks like it's poking out too much, it will fall. Like, think of like those block towers that you built as a kid. Eventually, if you don't build it right, they will fall. You have to have a stable foundation. If the foundation isn't there, then it will fall. I know it's like the lazy ways out, but well, making cliffs is, for me, not the most exciting thing. You see that that's the same, so I need to change that. So. I only need to make the rock wall up to here. And then I'm pretty much done. So I'm just literally picking different places in the existing rock wall and copying them. Turning them around a little bit. Just having some rocks that have fallen down. And also, well, it's fjord, so you have to have glaciers, which left huge rocks just wandering about. Sounds like rocks that are just going for a stroll. This connection here isn't the best. That's the one thing I do really love with the Planet Zoo rocks. No problem, Goron. I'm literally just sitting back, talking, and I'm actually surprised that I am actually somewhat coherent. Because again, streaming was like my biggest fear with like starting it. Because I don't do well in social situations. Think you guys can kind of see that because I'm a gamer. PC, I think, stands for Planet Zoo. You're not a moron, Slog. You're a moron if you don't ask things. Or that's what teachers really like to say. I still didn't ask anything, so maybe I am the moron then. So, yeah, this is why I also don't record audio ever while doing these streams. So, just again because I'm lazy, but so that rock wall is completely finished for this habitat. I'm probably going to copy this a lot with like other rock walls or cliff sides. And now to finish up the rest of the area with plants. What was it again? Like build smarter, not longer. Someone to the Norse gods. Can I do that without, let's just say, YouTube demonetizing me? I mean, I've been, again, talking a lot about, well, I think every video of me contains like one reference to human sacrifice or murder. I mean, I've literally just finished the commentary for the next Ken Al-Bashar video, and I talk again about murder, and none of my videos have been flagged yet, which is strange. Maybe it's because like I'm maybe a smaller creator and they don't really look that deeply into my videos, but Yeah, I have no idea how my videos aren't getting flagged because I certainly talk about murder and human sacrifice sometimes. All in like a storytelling way, of course. Don't start murdering people, guys. Also, Goron, no, I'm not going to murder you. Hey, Jen. Of course, it's one of my streams or it's one of the videos. It's always about human sacrifice and murder with me. Wait, did I use these things already? If not, then I start using them now because they are supposed to be temperate. And Norway isn't a frozen landscape like it's sometimes portrayed as in the movies. Although I do want some open terrain here. But then this is supposed to be a whole forest, so maybe no open terrain here yet. I mean, you have like glades and such in the forest. But hey, Jen, how are you doing? Also, yeah, I went into the Snow White story again, upcoming video. But when do I not? Snow White is literally just the weirdest fairy tale if you look into it. But this time I did keep it short. Which is something I usually don't achieve. What kind of flowers did I use? Oh wait, I've only have the one of the three T's selected. Now I understand why I almost had nothing. Flowers. Also, just a quick tip, when it comes to flowers, they are the most delicate of plants usually, so you can only really place them in places where there's like sunlight or there's very good soil. Hi, water reindeer. Also, Jen, you missed that I basically zoomed in on him and said that I'm going to murder him. Maybe that's why he's running away right now. Because I was getting too close again to him. Well, Sleeping Beauty, if you go about it, is also kind of depressing. Also has a hint of cannibalism. Most of these fairy tales are very well, they're very, I would say, I have no idea how those princesses aren't traumatized. So, you know the tale of Catalysion. Never heard of it, but it's about a girl running after a wheel of cheese or something like this. Isn't that like some kind of sport somewhere? Because I do have seen like videos of like grown men running after a wheel of cheese down a hill. Never realized the hint on cannibalism in Sleeping Beauty. Well, that's like the original, or at least I think it's the original fairy tale, but like the older a fairy tale is, the more variations are of that fairy tale. Because, yeah, people like to like add things to a fairy tale to make it suit whoever they're talking to or like the situation. That's basically with any story, I would say. I really like just this opening a little bit. True, but at least it is somewhat happily after. The mermaid kills herself, but she has no soul, so she just turns into sea foam. Yeah, I know that. So that's I think where Disney did a good thing and not go with the original because that's really depressing. Also, Gain. Yeah, most of the fairy tales, like the original tales, are very fucked up. So let's get a larger tree in there. You can use this, right? Europe temperate, yep. But slug to say about the cannibalism in Sleeping Beauty. So, I'm going to get probably flagged for this, but in the original fairy tale, or at least what might be the original, because by this time, who knows what is the actual original one, but in the original one, she doesn't awaken when the prince kisses her. In fact, she awakens because. How can I say this? One of her children sucks on her fingers when she is still asleep and somehow sucks up either the poison or like the prick of the needle. So, yeah, she didn't have children before she went to sleep. So you can imagine what the prince did to her. And then the prince in the original one was actually, I think, a king already. So there's that. Don't like this one, tree. And he was married. And so his wife, who he somewhat cheated upon with Sleeping Beauty, heard that the king had children because he had twins with Sleeping Beauty while she was still asleep. Again, I think you know what the king slash prince did now. And then she wanted to serve Sleeping Beauty and her children, or the twins that the king had with her, to the king. So there's the thing with cannibalism. Sleeping Beauty, if you really look into it, is, I think, even more fucked up than Snow White. Which is already saying a lot, because Snow White isn't good either. It's just like the lesser of two. Also, hey Anthony, hope you're doing well, and glad you could make it to the surprise stream, or somewhat surprise stream. Yeah, just, I would say for the defaulting, just look up Sleeping Beauty on Wikipedia. I know you shouldn't use Wikipedia as a, well, good information source, but there are a lot of like versions of fairy tales. The Disney ones are usually the ones that are very, let's just say, made better to suit actual children. I think if you had the original, then I can kind of understand why your mother refused to read it to you, because if it's what I think it is, then yeah, it's the original fairy tale is, I think, not really suited for children. So yeah, that's definitely true, Jen. I think most of like that criticism is because she's like well, talking for maybe 1 minute or at most 3 minutes throughout the entire movie, even though the movie is named after her. So just making a few more bushes because this is supposed to be a forest. So it's supposed to be like completely built in. Are you again at the water bill? Yes. She has a total of 19 minutes of screen time, and the movie is like probably 1 to 2 hours. So yeah. But I think in most Disney movies, it's already an improvement on the original story because, let's face it, most of the original fairy tales were made up in medieval times, and back then, a woman was, I think, supposed to be pretty and produce children or heirs. And maybe, do the household. So I think in most things, Disney probably tried to improve it, but sometimes didn't go about it the right way. Also, I don't. Let's just say 2 videos in, and I am now constantly talking about how fucked up all the fairy tales are. It's. I'm really liking this. I need some dead trees though. So I want mushrooms for this. Like, to have mushrooms growing on this tree would be nice. I really quickly thought, like, oh, I need to clarify this. I need mushrooms, but I need them on this tree. That's. I don't know, because maybe it's because I am Dutch. But I really, whenever I'm talking about like mushrooms or something, I just feel like I'm not talking about recreational mushrooms. I mean, it's the stereotype of like Dutch people that we all are like high 24/7 or drunk. I think that you're the first one to say that my channel is educational. I just talk about random shit that interests me that day. This isn't the right rock. Hopefully, yes, I've used the right rocks there. That's already good. Now, too, because I have some cliffs here as well. So, delete that rock, probably delete those. Because I need to make shelter for the animal. Continuously select the wrong rock. I don't even know, like, do reindeer really need shelter? Like, unless it's raining or something. Maybe, like, in the cold. I guess I'm the anti-Dutchman. Never done any drugs nor drank a drop of alcohol. I can say I'm the same with the first one. The second one, not. I still, like, this is something that I will forever tell as my moment of being drunk, but I once not danced, but just strolled through Rotterdam singing, I think, the Pink Panther theme. Again, that's like my one moment of being drunk, I would say. I also have no idea why the Pink Panther team came up in my head. But I was singing it very loudly, and then there was a subway that I had to take where there were pink cats in or on like the what's it called? The walls of the subway. You don't want a video of me singing. I can guarantee you that. But after that, I basically thought like, alright, I'm never going to get as drunk as I was then. When, what was it actually like? Da 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 da. I don't know if that's actually the Pink Panther team anymore. Again, like I have no idea how it came up to me. I also don't give me my phone when I'm there, but yeah, it was a fun night. I don't remember half of it, which is another reason why I don't really drink anymore, actually. I sometimes look at my channel and I think like, yeah, who's going to believe that I don't drink? But I've luckily never been like blackout drunk. Because that just feels like a waste of time. Da-dan, 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 da-dan. I have no idea how it goes further than that, so... But glad to be of service, Jen. Also, Kane, do you now have that song also stuck into your head, or maybe I can have She-Dog have it stuck in her head? See. Now I just imagine She-Dog while just humming or barking in the Pink Panther team tune. That ends. That ends. That ends. Well, it does sound actually quite similar to that. I think it's supposed to be da-da, but I can see how you can make that end of it. No idea if they can actually... Where's the water reindeer? Of course, near the water. He's starving, but he can't die from it, so that's good. Can he actually get into his shelter? Where the frick have I built his shelter again? It's so annoying where you can't find what you just built. Ah, there it is. Habitat. Temperature. He has enough shelter. Alright. And it's 9 p.m. So I have 1 hour left. Also, next video is going to be fun. Am I plugging my video now? Yes, I am. Am I aware of it? Yes, I am. But I finally am doing a tour again. I've only been blackout drunk once in my life, and apparently I kept yelling at my husband in Spanish. And that's just amazing. So Jen is an angry drunk. Good to know. No, I have not used these flowers yet. Where's the rest of them? There, nope. There they are. Now, thanks to Kane, I just have the image of dead ends. Or maybe you weren't yelling Spanish, but just was so incoherent that your husband thought it was Spanish. So, having some smaller plants here, because the hunter obviously cut it down here so that there's no, like, Wolves. Every time I come near here, he is yawning. So let's make sure there's some cut down trees here. I speak Spanish and we were in Mexico at the time. I just have this image in my head now of you screaming Spanish and your husband looking like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which is probably what happens. Especially if your husband doesn't speak Spanish, then it's... I can imagine the look on his face when you started screaming in Spanish then. It's just like, have no idea what you're screaming. I mean, in a way, probably good, because he did not know what you were screaming. Maybe you were screaming at him that you had this undying love for him, and he just, well, the tone of your voice wasn't happy, but what you said maybe was happy. That would be a fun thing, that you were just angrily in Spanish screaming "I love you" at him. Now I can't get that idea out of my head. A drunken Jen screaming at her husband "I love you" while he just watches like, what the fuck is happening? I think we're almost done actually with the habitat. You just screaming "I love you" at him. I mean, it's better than you probably screaming what you probably screamed. Because most of the time, screaming isn't friendly. Well, but you were also drunk, so then it's just like up for grabs what you actually screamed. So. I'm really starting to like this forest. It's just reciting the girl from Logan. I have not seen Logan, so I would not have a clue what she would be referencing. There's actually a lot of movies that have come out that I haven't watched. Because here's the thing, I especially in high school watched so many movies that now they're all a little bit like, I just how can I say this? I just know what's going to happen in a way, because most of the movies use like the same tropes, as I think you call it. Also, Kane, how are you holding down the She-Dog cult side of the stream? And I am still going to say the She-Dog cult because that's how I've named you and Zeta. I think we are actually missing Zeta. Where is that one flower? There it is. Again, like, I heart it, but I don't use that thing. So. Yeah, in high school I had just so much time on my hands that I just watched everything. Hey there. So let's create another farm here. Because again, even though it's a hunter, there needs to be also vegetables and such on the table. Otherwise the hunter wouldn't be a hunter for long. Spend all my time watching YouTube and playing Minecraft. Yeah, I didn't really play Minecraft that much, but that's again because of the creepers. for some reason I can't play in creative modes, but I'm getting angry whenever a creeper blows up my house in survival. I need to readjust how I'm sitting, and I also need to take a little bit of water because last stream I had a bottle of water and I didn't touch it at all, and after the whole stream it was just like, my throat is a desert. Also, probably not the thing, but yeah, I already drank half of it in just that one thing. You might have heard the glocks, or, well, you just want attention, don't you? Yep, there's no new ideas. I'm only half here, I think. There's some stuff happening on the lady's place, not any drama stuff though. Alright. Yeah, I take a large. I don't think you can even call them sips anymore. I just impatience when I'm drinking, so I. Well, as I said, I just drank half the bottle. These blends just remind me of like poison ivy. And I don't like it. But I'm actually like, to come back on the topic of Minecraft. Well, I probably drank a little bit too fast, but I've actually been thinking of like, because I've been watching a lot of it lately, mostly building. I've actually been thinking of like reinstalling it, trying out that, I think, a conquest mod, because I really like how it looks. Maybe we'll see that one day, maybe, if I get over my fear of creepers. But will I ever really get over my fear of creepers? I'm also really sitting far away from the mic again. Okay. The next time I'm taking a sip, I will probably just mute the mic for a short bit because, yeah, I will forget to. Well, I already moved away from the mic when I was drinking because I realized this is going to be freaking loud. Yay, I don't have to put in water stations. Wasn't that a thing early on that the animals wouldn't actually drink out of the water, or am I just imagining things right now? I hope I am imagining things. Oh yes, and I'm luckily imagining things. Again, it's probably going to be fun and terrifying to make Friday's video. Because to go over the... There's only one animal in there. How is he preventing other animals from breeding? It's literally only him there. Some animals wouldn't. Alright. Oh yeah, but then the reindeer's a later edition, so they probably have patched it out by the time the reindeer came out. That's a bit of an issue. And Jen, I don't know if you said why or asked why, because of the video on Friday or because of Aslan. Also had a tapir that dies because of no drinking standing in the pond. Yep. It was this big thing with like animals in the game, but then the animals are like the most bugged feature sometimes. Fun and terrifying because also thank you for clarifying, Jen. But so Friday's video is probably going to be me just going about like the issues I'm seeing with Planet Zoo and how Frontier is, well, basically handling the game. And it's a little bit terrifying because I'm, of course, talking about it as a player. So I have no idea about like how coding and everything works. But I just thought it would be better to point these things out. Maybe, I don't think so, but maybe Frontier will see it. But yeah, I just think it's better to point these things out and maybe have some response on it than sit silent and wait for these issues to maybe be, let's just say, not good for the game. But it's kind of terrifying again because I am talking about it as a gamer and a little bit as a video creator. And I don't want to like throw a bomb on whatever kind of relationship I have with Frontier because they did give me the South America DLC for free because I make videos on it. And that was the first time I actually was given like a press kit or something. It was also terrifying. So it's a little bit like I want to make the video, but I'm scared that there could be like potential fallout from making it. Some animals would not drink from the capuchin monkey would not drink from the water until after the update game after the DLC. Yeah. I I can talk about it now because there were a bunch of well, when you get like a press kit, there are like rules. Like sometimes you can't actually talk about bugs that Frontier knows about and probably had patched right from the beginning when the DLC came out because you're of course playing an early version of the DLC when you're getting a press kit, but I think there were some issues with the capuchin monkeys right from the start. That's a good point. Definitely better to voice those problems, and I think Frontier knows that's all constructive criticism, not just shitting on them and the game. Yeah, because like even though I do see issues with the game, mainly in the, well, this is what why I said Kane might like it, mainly in like the animal department. But I still love building in the game. I still love playing the game. So I think I will like have like just a huge disclaimer at like the beginning of the video of like this is all meant as constructive criticism. This is not supposed to be evil or malicious in any way. It's just my take on how the game stands today. But yeah, I'm going to be, let's just say, brutally honest. Or at least I'm not going to shy away from saying things if I feel like they're bothering me. Well, capuchin monkeys are evil, so it makes sense that they cause problems in the game too. Yep. I think we still, actually, I'm going to quickly look this up. Again, like we get close to this area and just all the stuff start yawning. But have they worked this out? Nope. The natural termite mound is still only there for the giant anteater, which makes no sense. So yeah, there are definitely issues with the game and how they've been handling it, I would say. Especially, well, it's half a year in, we only have 8 animals that are new. And yeah, I'm not going to be talking too much more about it because otherwise I don't have a video anymore. But it, you are going back to the water, aren't you? Can I hide one of these rubbing pillars in a tree? I have a tree here. Can I hide it in this tree? So, now it looks natural when the reindeer actually starts rubbing against the tree. Then a sand marker underneath here. I really hope individual animals come soon. If Frontier changes their strategy on the game, maybe. Also need to get the animal over here, so let's place this one over here. So we have a rubbing pillar, we have one food thing, we need another food thing. Where are other spots that people might watch them? Here. Or this is just because I want to see them here. Need to. So I think that this habitat now is somewhat finished actually. Strange. It only took 1.5 hours. First habitat of Valhalla finished. Oh yeah, I also... Let's get the water reindeer a friend. Also, I did work a little bit on the waterfall. So, now my water bottle is empty. What happened to the lion habitat? I think I've missed something. It's there, but it's going to be probably moved. Also, all the water is gone because I flooded the map constantly by making this river. So it's probably going to go away, or not go away. It's going to be moved, probably to some higher area. Can place the water back, of course. That's not the right place. It's too low. Go get more water. Well, I'm only going to be live for another 30 minutes. I can go without it. Because this water bottle is like... not 1 liter. It's like 3/4 of a liter. So 750 milliliters. I don't know what it is in like... American measurement system, but let's just say I've drunk a lot. It's, does it say anywhere how much there is in this bottle? Excuse me. No, it doesn't say anywhere, but I just guess that it's less than a full liter. Maybe it's at least a half a liter. But now we have a nice forest. I need to... Actually, did they deliver her? Where is she? I need to click on the habitat gate to actually... There's only water reindeer. Who of course is standing at the water. Where's the... Why aren't they delivering any animals? I mean, we have caretakers. Oh wait, they are in a... let's just quickly change that. Economy is, I think, what I wanted. Stuff and that. Just to make it faster. I will probably turn that on again when I have some actual staff facilities, but because I'm now only building, well, habitats so far, I think it's better to have it off. Let's quickly look at Supia. Do they want to be in a bigger tree? 1 mil, a lot of females. Yeah, and I already know what's then going to happen. Starving and dehydrated. Up. Good evening, Lucinda Chan. I am happy to see you in the stream again. Hope you also had a nice day. I need to change the potting here actually to a 6-meter pot. But I really like how everything turned out. We have some hunting going on. I think I need something over here as well. Let's have a little bit more nature here. Some plants. Because back then every kind of medicine was herbal or at least like derived from nature usually, unless you was still natural but mercury also. How can you get that into the camera perspective? I noticed that you used that to showcase your habitats but haven't figured out how to get into that. I can do that very quickly. It's basically a cheat code. I need one other thing. Tomorrow is my first final and I hope you're not slacking off on your finals to watch me though. Because school is important. So, a little bit of like a garden for medicinal plants. And that. But do I have one here? Probably because I walked around here with vendors. And you just basically have to type in digit camps lock and press enter and you get into the guest perspective. There you can just walk around. Sadly though, rocks don't have collisions, so you will go through rocks. I mean, look, you will go through rocks and most types of scenery also. I think there are only a few pieces of scenery that actually have collision when you're in these modes. But I mean, we can walk a little bit around the habitat. We have their shelter. I thought they had already pooped in there. Thank you, and your videos just calm me down from getting too stressed. I'm glad they help you. It's literally just me while rambling into a microphone. Is water a reindeer here? I would guess he is, but he isn't. I'm trying to find the reindeer. But this is quite a large habitat actually for them. So it makes sense that I can't find them. I mean, probably good for them because they can hide everywhere. Not good for me if I want to get like a shot of them. Well, there's, I think... Yeah, you haven't moved a bit. Oh, that's why. You can't get past there. Let's remove that one tree stump. Can you move now? Yep, now you can. Are there things now that aren't reachable because you have a lot less area than I thought you would? Oh, it's all of those trees. Wait. I need to look up it. So she can move throughout the habitat but can't go past here. Why? Is it all because of these trees? I would guess so. Let's remove those and let's see what happens. No, it's not from those. Is it because of these? Nope. Well, we can remove these as well. Yep. Those rose bushes also have collision for the animals. Let's so. Alright. New thing learned. Don't use those rose bushes that often. Let's move this one then for just to make things sure. You're also a water reindeer then. That's the first thing they do. They just sprint towards the water. Alright. Bridge type. Or I will find another way to do this and make like a path winding up. Gigantic bridge or path winding up. But then I also need the path to go down here. I think a giant bridge is a little bit too unrealistic for this. Yeah, I think I will make a path to go from here to there. Or there. So let's see how long that is. Still have the rope thing on. Let's put that on. Let's say it needs to span an area that large. Right. Let's make it that size, so because it's going to go into a town, so it needs to be a large bridge. But then also it's not leading actually up to the farm, so it does need to be a large bridge. Large bridge. Now to move it downwards so that I can see a little bit better. Yeah, let's just make it a little bit broader just for safety. Then make it go along the lines of the zoo again. And let's build it here because it's a lot easier. Anyway, so this, of course, being a larger bridge, needs larger beams. Where are they? There are they. The Decane has voted for winding paths. So, making crosses again, because that is what makes it most of the time structurally safe. That's not the right. Why does it automatically go to 0? So also, yes, a lot of the bridges are built this way. Just making access as I go along. And then there needs to be a tower here, a tower here, where I say tower, it's base. Well, it's a tower. Tower. Oh wait, this is 8 meters. Too large of a tower? Let's see. No, but it's really blocky though. So I guess that... Let's see if I just remove these. Doesn't look right to me. How many of you guys are now actually playing Planet Zoo? I did ask this problem. Yeah, I did ask this in the previous video or previous stream as well. But I'm just curious. I mean, I'm a squirrel, so I'm bound to be curious. Make this long. I think this is just constantly going up. I'm putting a dresser together. That's the most unplanned zoo thing I think I wouldn't think of that. Although you have to say it's an IKEA dresser. And if it is an IKEA dresser, how many bolts and screws and such are you missing? How many relationships have already failed because of it? Good to know, Blizzard and Chris. So there's at least one person playing Planet Zoo actually while watching Planet Zoo. It's fun to think about that. So, just going to make a standing tower here. That's not angled correctly. Is that angled correctly? Yes. So standing tower here. And one of course on the other end. And one at... is this the right thing? Glad to have 3 monitors. One for YouTube, one for the game, and one for reference. I have 2. So, or do I think I'm going to make this one large tower here in the middle. So that will mean cross. across. Also, yes, it is a very secure method of building to just basically build crosses into a bridge. Because they are very structurally sound, or the shape is very structurally sound. I have one monitor and an old 20-inch as a monitor. I used to also use my TV screen as a monitor because my monitor before that basically died on me. Luckily, I don't have that anymore. At least when it came to my TV screen, it was meant to be a TV screen, of course. And you could see that. Which I guess I should have expected. But for Plant Zoo, it's actually really handy to have multiple screens. Just because you can, as Goron said, have one open for references and one for actually playing. And then maybe also one for YouTube. I have Plant Zoo, but I'm struggling because of the control. I'm good at Sims, but just can't get it to work. Yeah, the building tools are not the most helpful sometimes. I have like a huge advantage because I've played Planet Coaster for such a long time that I'm really familiar with how it all goes. And that's actually most creators. Most people that you watch have had experience in Planet Coaster before. So never feel bad if you don't get things to work. Because, well, especially if you're like comparing yourself to creators on YouTube, because they have like, I don't even know how old Planet Coaster is today. It's like, what, 5 years old, so they have 5 years ahead of you. Do I want to actually know how much time I have in Planet Zoo? I don't think I want to know. Probably way too much. I mean, I can look it up a bit later. I hope to be somewhat able to finish this bridge before I end the stream, but not likely anymore. I mean, I can place it. This would be the bridge then. So I need to get the path going down from here and then move the path up from here as well. And I feel I need to also make it longer. Or the bridge needs to be here. Which isn't as interesting as having it such. Yeah, I need to make it longer, so I probably need to have one more of these towers. Or just extend the middle a little bit. Let's see how that goes. So again on 0. Why is it always on that? So let's see how this looks. And then here as well. Oh, wrong button. Now it's like the right spacing. So now I just have to get the pod to go here. I am actually going to look up how long I have in Planet Zoo. Playtime 823 hours. So not as much. Goron has more hours than me. But I will probably end the stream in 10 minutes because I have a video to render. And I can't do anything with my PC except watch YouTube videos when I am rendering a video. This water just looks like it's going too fast. I don't know if I'm correct, but it just looks like it's going too fast. Or I'm just really used to having lower frame rates than this. I've done so little. I've made 2 versions of Ken al-Bashar. Actually 3. Because I usually forget to mention the, well, corrupted one. So, smooth it out a little bit. Move the water back to there. Actually, make it moving water. And then I can finish up the waterfall off screen. Because I don't feel like building it on screen today. What are you going to do when Ken al-Bashar is finished? No idea. That's also like a thing for Friday. Because, well, I can just say this now, but after finishing up the Royal Palace, I'm probably going to just sit for a moment and think, am I going to go completely finishing Ken al-Bashar? Or am I going to see or look for other games? Because the issues. I started some zoos and never finished one. After some time I don't like it anymore and I start a new one. Yeah, before I did YouTube videos, that basically is what I did as well. I started a new zoo, or, well, not a new zoo, because when Plant Zoo was released I was already just going full at it with videos, but whenever I started a new park and plant coaster, I would survive for 1 month and then I would delete it. But basically, to give you guys a bit of a rundown on like the situation on Ken al-Bashar, and I'm already or also going to mention this in the video on Friday, but basically I don't know if I'm going to really continue after the Royal Palace is finished. Nah, I'm just really just going to sit down and just think like, am I going to continue with this? Because I still love building in the game. I mean, today is a great example of that. I just sometimes feel like the game isn't really going anywhere. Feels like the game is a little bit like stagnant or static for a bit now. Of course, somewhat understandable with everything going on in the world, but I mean, this started with the Arctic pack already, so. So that's kind of big news, actually. Also, at a certain point, the sound of the waterfall just drops away. But yeah, that basically just gives at least 4 certain episodes of Can al Bashar remaining. And after that, I will see what happens. Chat has died. Was it that big of a news drop that with Can al Bashar? But that's also like the reason why I've been basically looking into new games as well, because well, if Planet Zoo isn't going anywhere, I still want to make videos, because in the end I like making videos. But then of course it makes sense to, let's just say, if Planet Zoo isn't going anywhere, then it makes sense to, well, look for other games. I'm not really saying like, oh, it's because of like views or something, because I've never made videos because of views. It's just that, yeah, Planet Zoo isn't really going anywhere. I mean, with 4 animals at back, that's already quite a bummer. I won't stop making Planet Zoo videos in a way, because these streams will still continue. So even if there are no like Kian al Bashar videos on the channel anymore, then Valhalla will continue. But I mean, these streams are fun because I can just sit down, talk to you guys, and play some plants. Like, I've done literally nothing else this stream than placing plants. The limit DLC means you have to be more creative. Yeah, but it's Planet Zoo, it's not Planet Builder. And that's kind of the issue that I've been going at. Like, it's half a year, and so far no like gameplay changing elements have been done. Yeah, that's basically what it is with Planet Zoo, Chris. It's like, I still find the game really enjoyable to build for. I still really just like the game. It's just the constant drip feeding, as I would call it, of animals. And just to compare it to Planet Coaster, pretty much if you're not a builder, the game was dead after a month. Yes. Put it down for like a month, but then I enjoyed it much more when I went back. But yeah, as Gaines said and Chris said, it's really easy to get burnt out on the game. And to compare it to Planet Coaster, by this time, I think with Planet Coaster, we had the Adventure DLC. I'm going to let the game run because otherwise we have no sound. But by this time, we had the Adventure Pack, we had, I think, the Spooky Pack, which really released a lot of like game changing things. I mean, I still see people making like amazing dark rides in Planet Coaster, and what have we got in Planet Zoo? We have gotten 8 animals and a lot of building pieces. But yeah, it just feels like they're really gearing towards all the builders, which kind of leaves everyone who's interested in the animals kind of in the cold or in the dark. Because, I mean, I really love the building thing, but the animals is what got me in the door, and then the building part kept me there. but then to slowly lose the sight of what got me in the door, kind of like in a way makes me dissatisfied with the state of the game, if you guys understand me. Like, I really thought that by this point we would have at least have gone like 20 animals, or like aquatic animals would have been like the second DLC or something. I agree with you. I think that's also why Rudy started his movie up. That's where he built, for example, the Ortonok and the Hobbit Hole. Yes, it kind of feels like with Planet Zoo we are compensating for the animals with like huge builds. On like the Snow White build that I've been building on, I mean, it was kind of really shown to me that Planet Zoo isn't really that much about the animals anymore when I literally forgot the animals. Like, I completely forgot to talk about the Chinese pangolin. Like, even in the intro of the video, I don't think they actually came up. So, that just shows that Planet Zoo isn't really Planet Zoo, or at least that's what it feels like to me. It feels more like just Planet Builder. Which, I mean, is great, but I mean, yeah. And the modders do a very good job, but the mods can only replace the original animal. Yes. That's a sad thing. I think it's that the animals are harder to code and Frontier overreached. So now they're trying to catch up. I love the update they did with the negative radius though. It shows they do listen to the players. Yes, they definitely do listen, but also I don't know. Like this is just my thoughts or my opinions on it, but it's just I don't know. I understand, of course, that making animals takes like 100 times more time than making a building piece, because of course, I mean, you have to make the AI for the animal, the fur, everything. You have to make them really interact in a way with their environment. Whereas, well, this tree is just, it has a certain movement pattern and that's it. So, uh, so I kind of understand that the animals would obviously come out a lot slower than building pieces, but I would be completely happy if we got like, let's say, 50 building pieces or maybe even none and 8 or 10 animals. Like, I am perfectly fine, even though I am classified as a builder. I'm perfectly fine with getting less building pieces if it means they spend more time on actually making interesting animals. That's why I think they have to do many more clone animals, basically a reskin slash remodel of an existing animal. Yeah, I think the community is kind of like split on that, because you're then paying for a reskin, which of course a lot of people are not going to be happy about. Yeah, it's a very interesting issue, but yeah, I just want to see animals that's literally for, let's say, this reindeer habitat. I knew two enrichment items of either kind, a bedding area, and water, and maybe some food. Yeah, less building pieces does not mean we get more animals. I also understand that there's like different teams, but yeah, again, it's just my opinion on it. But it just feels like they're really catering lately towards the builders, which I sort of understand also, because now I'm going to stop it because I'm hearing that music again. Because the builders are the more, I would say, visible members of the community. I mean, if you think about all the, well, creators or YouTubers, I mean, the Lay Designer, Aston Wolf, Mike Sheets, Silverhats, Rudy, like, at the core they are all builders. So the builders are, of course, the more visible members of the community. But then you have the people who really got into Plant Zoo for the animals, and they are basically really easily burnt out on the game. So, yeah, again, this is just my opinion. So, don't take it too seriously, but yeah, it's a little bit of a weird problem. Small mammals and rodents are severely lacking in the game. That's also true. Like otters, beavers, uh, what are those other things? Raccoons. Um, what are those other things? Badgers. I don't know. Skunks. Like the smaller animals are also, of course, missing. Completely my train of thought, Ruben. By now, the animals are more of a side thing. It's an upgraded planet coaster, and the animals are a little bit of a side thing. Meerkats, possums, yep. I'm just going to go into Gadget Cam and just talk. Because I don't have a brain anymore today for building. So, probably going to do another stream Thursday. Probably. Also, of course, depends on my moods. Because if I don't feel like streaming, then I of course won't. But oh wait, it counts as space if you put it in, and I can't type for some reason. Thank you, Ruben. It's literally all I've done today. It's just foliage work and well, a little bit of a bridge, but it's not in workable condition yet. I think I'm going to use this as like the image if I can get into the right area for the thumbnail of the stream. Because I did make sure that all the streams are rewatchable on YouTube. You see another building mode to do exhibit animals. Also, have a good night, Goron. But why can't we have a null pot? Also something I see requested. I'd also like to see another building mode to exhibit animals. Yes. When snakes were announced, I really wanted to have like a smaller habitat for, to be able to build for like a constrictor or something. And then to find out that they are basically static things in a box was a real downer. The builders are more visible, but they are the minority. The majority are just normal players who will never be seen. Completely true. But again, for Frontier, the more visible the players are, the more likely they are to listen to them. I mean, they're because well, that's just I think economics and just companies thing. Because the people that don't really have a voice, which are usually the average players, Frontier won't hear from them. And then you of course have the builders who love the game, and so they somewhat. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but they somewhat get like one-sided feedback of like people who love the game because of all its building aspects, and the average players just gets kind of sidelines. Larger snakes should be habitat animals with smaller requirement, high heat need, and climbing. Yes, because well, snakes would have been just a lot nicer to do in like habitats. I mean, same goes for iguanas. I get that like the insects of course need to be in an exhibit because that's way too tiny to build for. But the majority of the times that I've been to a zoo, snakes had usually larger habitats. Or at least larger than the exhibit boxes. I'm an average player. Yep. Then again, YouTubers often pass on the feedback of the community. Yeah, and that's why I want to make that video on Friday. Just talking about the issues that I have seen, that I'm feeling, that's yeah. Also, why we don't have fish in just a tank. The exhibit animals with a little animation to swim from left to right. Yeah, that's again. I have to really clarify that I have no idea how coding works. Also, it's 6/10, so I am going to end the stream here. So, Slug, I am going to leave with you in a way. A sip, it sounded like you swallowed a whole lake. I did not read that beforehand, but alright. Ruben, I don't have a Discord server. I am planning on making one. But I will probably see you again on Thursday because I just want to make Valhalla more of like a streaming zoo. So everybody have a good night, sleep well, and I am going to see you again on Thursday. Maybe I will have a little bit more to talk about with like the issues. But anyways, bye guys.